Hey, what's up everyone? Lance and Lauren here with the Living in Sacramento channel, and we have a super exciting video for you guys today. We are gonna be taking you around, giving you everything that you need to know about one of Sacramento's best suburbs to live in. And if you stick around until the very end, we're gonna be showing you some brand new construction communities that just opened up.
Let's check it out.
All right, so on today's video, we are gonna be covering everything that you need to know if you're thinking about making the move to Lincoln, California. Now, a lot of times Lincoln doesn't end up on your guys' radar as a suburb or a town that you guys are thinking about moving. A lot of times people are searching living in Sacramento, moving to Sacramento. Lincoln is gonna be one of those towns that you definitely wanna keep on your radar. And if you stick around to the very end, we are gonna show you one of the newest construction communities that's going to be popping up in Lincoln, California.
All right, now a little bit about Lincoln, California. Now, Lincoln is located about 45 minutes north of Sacramento along Highway 65. Now, Lincoln has grown like crazy over the last 20 years. There's been a ton of new construction, a ton of different communities popping up, and what once was a small, quiet town has grown tremendously. Now, Lincoln also has a really cute downtown area that has an old town charm and feel. They do a ton of community events throughout the year, whether it's at Christmas time. They've got a tree lighting ceremony down there. They've got a 4th of July parade that honestly in our entire Sacramento area is probably the best 4th of July show and parade that you're gonna see. It's worth the drive out here.
But make sure you stick around through this entire video because it will be action-packed. We used to live in Lincoln. We still love Lincoln. And we are gonna be covering some of our favorite neighborhoods, some of our pros, some of our cons, and this is gonna be probably the most honest and brutal video that we give you about the city of Lincoln. So let's jump into it.
All right, now the next neighborhood that we're gonna talk about is going to be where I'm at right now. It's gonna be 12 Bridges. Now, 12 Bridges was mainly built in the early 2000s. There is some homes that were built after that time period, but this is gonna be more of a already developed area. You're gonna find a different range of houses when you're talking about 12 Bridges. So you can find some smaller single stories that are 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,600 square feet. But you can also find up to, large 2-story homes that are anywhere from 5 to 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Now, the thing about 12 Bridges that I absolutely love is I love the community feeling that 12 Bridges has. It just has a different feel than the rest of Lincoln. Now, 12 Bridges has been growing a lot lately when it comes to businesses coming to this area. 12 Bridges itself doesn't specifically have its own grocery store, so you will have to drive into town a little bit further if you're living in 12 Bridges, but it's not that far. It's maybe 10 minutes to get to the grocery store from here, but you will have to travel up to get to a grocery store. But the thing about 12 Bridges that I love is that you do have some restaurants. You also have a Starbucks. They finally got their own Starbucks. Right before we came to this neighborhood, we stopped by, grabbed a cup of coffee, and their new Starbucks location here is awesome. It's a drive-through. It's got enough seating, so if you want to go work from the Starbucks in 12 Bridges, you can. It's a really, really nice store. Now, the other thing about 12 Bridges is they also have a few different restaurants. So they've got Cinos, they've got a Leatherby's. So if you like to go hang out and grab ice cream or go to like kind of a burger joint, you've got Leatherby's. Now, one of the nice things about 12 Bridges is that they just got their brand new high school, 12 Bridges High School. Now, this high school is different than the other high school in the area. They do offer more advanced classes, which is awesome. They also have more technical pathways that your student can go through. So being able to go to 12 Bridges High School if you live over in this part of town is really nice. It's nice that it's super close for all of these houses. The thing I really like about 12 Bridges though is the feel of this neighborhood. It just has a really clean, a really nice feel. You can kind of see some of the houses behind me. A lot of the neighborhoods in 12 Bridges are built around different parks. So you do have a bunch of parks. You've got some pathways that kind of connect everything. So if you like to get outside and enjoy the outdoors, you can definitely do that if you're living in 12 Bridges, which is really, really nice. Now, moving on to my next pro and con for Lincoln. So we'll start with the pro. But the pro for me for Lincoln is going to be all of the new restaurants and new businesses that are going in. So before, if you lived in Lincoln, it kind of sucked because you'd have to drive into Roseville if you wanted to go to any main restaurants or if you wanted to accomplish any shopping. There weren't a ton of businesses. It was more of that kind of small town feel in a big area. But lately, they've had a ton of new businesses come in, which is awesome because Lincoln is really big. There's a ton of people that live out here. So the nice thing is that you don't have to leave Lincoln to accomplish your tasks anymore because of all of the new restaurants and businesses. So some of our favorite restaurants in Lincoln are going to be like Cino's, Old Town Pizza, Orchid Thai is really, really good. One of my favorite things when we lived here was when Lincoln got its own In-N-Out burger. So if you're from California, or if you're from the West Coast, or if you've ever been out here, you know that In-N-Out is a big deal. And the fact that Lincoln got their own was awesome. This place is always busy, but it's always good. It's a cheap, inexpensive fast food meal. So it is nice that you don't have to leave Lincoln to get, you know, some of the things that you before would have had to leave to go get those things. All right, now for my con, it's definitely gonna be traffic and congestion. So unfortunately, Lincoln has grown a lot, which is great. There's so many great opportunities for houses and a different range of houses that you can find out here, which is awesome. Sometimes your money goes a little bit further out in Lincoln, which is awesome. But with that comes more traffic, more congestion. So if you're trying to get out of Lincoln or get down to Sacramento, sometimes Highway 65 can bottleneck before you get to 80. It can take a long time to get out of Lincoln. So that kind of sucks, but they have done some things to improve the freeway to make it hopefully flow a little bit better. And like I said, with all of the new businesses, maybe you don't even have to leave Lincoln to accomplish anything or go anywhere. Maybe you work remote. So it definitely is something to think about, adding Lincoln to your list if you already didn't have it on your list. Before we jump into the next neighborhood and the next set of pros and cons, if you are considering a move to the greater Sacramento Metro, that number is popping up right now. Go ahead and pause the video, shoot us a text, send us an email, or book your one-on-one Zoom call with us so that we can help make your move as easy as possible.
All right, so the next neighborhood that we're gonna be at is going to be Lincoln Crossing. Now, I am pretty much located right on the corner of Ferrari Ranch and Joyner Parkway. I've actually got the clubhouse right behind me. They just had a brand new remodel where they upgraded some of the stuff. They put in a new indoor pool, a better fitness facility. They've actually been doing a ton of stuff here since the year 2000. And that's kind of what's gonna bring us to our second neighborhood. Lincoln Crossing is pretty much gonna be located right off of the Ferrari Ranch freeway. It's gonna be pretty much where all of the new development had started in the early 2000s, right before the 2008 crash. I actually moved up here in 2007, lived here for about 10 or so years, but absolutely loved it. Now, it started to grow a lot more. They put in some new tennis courts back over here. They put in a skate park over here as well too. Let me flip around so you guys can see that. So you got a nice little skate park, a couple of basketball courts. You're gonna have pickleball courts, tennis courts over here. And then back over behind us, they're doing a little bit of construction, but you're gonna have the original pool, the original facility clubhouse. You're gonna have the new clubhouse, which is gonna have an indoor pool. It's gonna have a brand new gym that's gonna look 10 times better than the old gym. And you get all of that as a part of being a part of the HOA here in Lincoln. Now, Lincoln Crossing, for the most part, is going to be the second exit as you're entering into Lincoln. So we just took you to 12 Bridges. That's gonna be the first exit. That's gonna be your first experience into Lincoln. And then the next exit is gonna be Ferrari Ranch, and that's going to be a part of the new Highway 65 bypass that they built about 5 or 10 years ago. And that's going to take you into the heart of Lincoln Crossing. So part of Lincoln Crossing will go west to one side of 65. The other part of Lincoln Crossing will go east to the other side of 65. You'll have different restaurants. You'll have a Target, a Home Depot. They just put in a Sprouts, an In-N-Out burger right before we left. I think they have an Ulta here. So it's actually gonna feel a little bit more of kind of a modern, new development type feel in Lincoln Crossing. But in here, a lot of the homes are gonna be, I would say some of the homes are gonna be built starting in the early 2000s. They went all the way up until about 2009, 2010, and then really kind of everything started to slow down at that point during the crash. You're gonna have a lot of nice walking trails throughout this community. You're gonna be able to, get to the elementary school that's gonna be within this community. You're also gonna be able to walk over to In-N-Out Burger, Starbucks, all those favorite things that we used to go to all the time when we used to live in here. And then they just have a lot of nice little walking trails. So the next pro for Lincoln that we're gonna talk about is really kind of that small town friendly vibe. Now, This town has grown so much since the year 2000. It's really kind of crazy. It used to be, just probably, I don't know, 10 or 20 streets that were going to be right around the downtown, the old 65 Boulevard, or now it's called Lincoln Boulevard. But in early 2000s, Lincoln was known as one of the fastest growing cities. But I will say that they've maintained their friendliness and their small town vibe. You've got a super cute old town part, Lincoln, that's going to be that old Highway 65. But for the most part, this town is going to be incredibly friendly. I loved it when I lived here. And it's just gonna be a super nice town. My con though, that I'm gonna talk about during this section of the video, is going to be the fact that there is going to be a lack of nightlife. So just south of Lincoln, you are gonna have Thunder Valley Casino, which if that's kind of your thing and you like to go to the casino and gamble, kind of smell like cigarette smoke, that just wasn't for me. They do have a nice little nightclub in there, and they just built a brand new event center that has pretty good comedians, I would say, for the most part. We've seen a couple of different comedians come through there. They've had a couple of really good bands come through there now since that event center's been built. And then in Lincoln, for the most part, there's gonna be kind of one dive bar. Now, I can or cannot confirm that I've probably shut that bar down a couple of times, but for the most part, it's really gonna be kind of your only bar that's gonna be in Lincoln. So for the most part, restaurants will close down around 9 o'clock. So if you're having a craving for anything that's not fast food, probably not gonna be open during the week past 9. On the weekends, they probably stay open until 10 or 11, but still, late night, nightlife kind of stuff in Lincoln doesn't happen a whole lot. So we're gonna jump to our next neighborhood in this video. Stick around. All right, so the third neighborhood that we're gonna be talking about on our list is going to be Foskett Ranch. Now, one of my favorite things that I really love about Foskett Ranch is it's towards the back side of Lincoln. It's actually gonna be more towards the north side off of Nelson Road. It's gonna be really close in proximity to Lincoln High School, Foskett Ranch Elementary, Foskett Ranch Regional Park. But the other thing that I really love about this, and Lauren's gonna touch on it a little bit more, but a lot of the newer construction homes in Lincoln are going to have Melrose. So when I say newer construction, I'm talking about, things that are going to be kind of post 2000s. And Lauren will touch on this a little bit more, but the one thing I really love about this particular neighborhood in general is that it doesn't have Melrose. So if you're comparing a $600,000 or $700,000 house in Foskett Ranch versus a $600,000 or $700,000 house in Lincoln Crossing, you may have a slightly lower payment. So that is going to be the nice thing. A majority of these homes are going to be built after 2000 as well, but just in proximity and location to where they were at. They just didn't have Melrose for whatever reason. So the cool thing is there is going to be about 1,900 homes back here. A lot of them are going to be post 2000. So as you can kind of see, as we do a quick pan around the neighborhood, very clean looking stucco houses. Neighborhood back here is actually really well kept. You've actually got a super nice house over here that's listed for sale. But all in all, it is going to be a very clean looking neighborhood. Now, there are going to be a few older neighborhoods back here. Some of those are going to be between like 1985 and 2000 for the most part. But I think everything is going to be kind of post 2000. Now, you will find anywhere between 3 to 6 bedroom homes, anywhere between 2 to 3.5 bathrooms, or 4 bathrooms, depending on if you're calling that half just the 4th bathroom. But a lot of these homes back here are going to be super nice. All right, so that's going to bring us into our next pro for this video, and that's going to be education. Now, the cool thing about Lincoln is they just built that brand new high school that's going to be located over off of 12 Bridges Boulevard. That's going to be the 12 Bridges High School. Now, we just have a test score that's rated a 9 out of 10. We don't have the overall score. Their first graduating class should be graduating this year, but that is going to be the nice thing. If the test score indicates the overall score, that score should be pretty good. Now, Lincoln is going to have a few different elementary schools. Those elementary schools are going to rate anywhere from a 6 out of 10 all the way up to an 8 out of 10, depending on the location, the neighborhood, where you're at, right? So back here, we're going to have Foskett Ranch, more towards the middle part of Lincoln. Lincoln Crossing is going to be the elementary school. There's another new elementary school that's going to be over kind of on the other side of Highway 65. And you're going to have 12 Bridges Elementary, which is going to be towards the front side. Lincoln is going to have 2 middle schools. You're going to have 12 Bridges Middle School, which is going to be towards the front of Lincoln, and you're going to have Glen Edwards, which is going to be towards the middle part of Lincoln. Now we talked about 12 Bridges High School, and then you're also going to have the original Lincoln High School, which is going to rate a 7 out of 10. So now all in all, the school ratings are going to be above the state average, but depending on the neighborhood and the area, you're just going to have to make sure that you do your own research. I will say for the most part, your dollar does go a little bit farther in Lincoln, and the quality of life, I just love Lincoln as a whole. But that's going to lead us to our next con. So one of the cons for Lincoln is going to be the proximity to the waste management facility that's going to be located just south of Lincoln. It's actually going to be a little bit closer to Thunder Valley Casino. But in relationship to the proximity to Lincoln, I will say in the 10 years that I lived here, every once in a while, the wind does blow north and you can smell the waste management facility. So kind of smells like a dump, but it's not that bad. I will say out of the 10 years, I maybe only smelt it about a handful of times. So keep that in mind. It's one of those things that I would want to know about it if I were moving to Lincoln, but it's still pretty far away and it doesn't really happen too often. I would say there are some times where the wind blows south and you might be able to smell it in some parts of West Roseville, but it's really not that bad. So we're going to jump into our next neighborhood and our next set of pros and cons.
All right, so the next community that we're going to talk about, which is where I'm at right now, is going to be the newer development, which is called Turkey Creek. Now, Turkey Creek has two brand new developments going in. One is going to be Esplanade at Turkey Creek, which is currently being built by Taylor Morrison. This is going to be an exclusive 55 and up community that's going to be awesome homes with resort style amenities. Now, I'll talk about that one a little bit more in a minute, but the other community at Turkey Creek is going to be where I'm at right now, and that's going to be the estates at Turkey Creek, which are currently being built by Elliott Homes. Now, Turkey Creek Estates, like I said, is being built by Elliott Homes. These are going to be some massive homes. They're going to sit on large lots. They're going to range in size anywhere from 2,300 square feet all the way up to right under 4,200 square feet. Now, the cool thing about Turkey Creek Estates is they do have their own really cute park that's right in the community, which is kind of where I'm at right now. You can see it behind me. There's like a climbing and a play structure back there. There's a really cool foosball table here. So this is just going to be a really awesome place to come hang out if you have kiddos and if you're living in this neighborhood. Now, the homes being built here by Elliott, like I said, they're going to be very large homes. You're going to have a range of single-story and two-story homes. Some of them are going to offer that downstairs suite. So if you've got maybe an older parent who needs to live with you or your in-laws, you will have that option here for that kind of next-gen style living. Now, some of my favorite things about these Elliott homes are all of the different options and different amenities that you can get within them. So they do have a single story floor plan that's really, really cool. It has a 3-car garage, and one of the garages is large enough that you could have your RV. So you could store an RV inside of some of these garages, which is really, really cool. But they just offer really nice upgraded amenities. They build these homes to the nines. And the nice thing about Elliott is that they don't really nickel and dime you. A lot of the stuff that you see is going to be stuff that you get. There are options for upgrades, but these homes are absolutely gorgeous inside. Now, the other cool thing about the estates at Turkey Creek is not only if you don't want to buy the Elliott home, but maybe you want to be in this development and you want to build a custom home, you can do that here as well. So they do have lots for sale where you could build a custom home of your choosing, of whatever you want, whatever style you're looking for, and you could be in this community. Now let's talk a little bit more about my favorite 55 and up community in all of the greater Sacramento Metro. I know I've said it many times before, but Esplanade at Turkey Creek is definitely where it's at if you're 55 and over and you're thinking about moving to a 55 and over community. Now, this community is absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous. They've got a huge range of houses. So if you're looking to downsize, you can definitely do that here. They have homes that range from 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom up to their estate series, which is gonna have, you can have anywhere from a 3 to 4-bedroom house with multiple bathrooms. The thing I love about Esplanade at Turkey Creek is these houses are gorgeous. They're really, really nice. They're a great builder, probably one of our favorite builders to work with in the greater Sacramento Metro. But the amenities at this resort are amazing. So the amenities here include a gorgeous resort style pool. Now, on top of their resort style pool, they've got cabanas where you can reserve them for 4-hour increments. So if you want to hang out you know, watch a game in your cabana, hang out by the pool. They do have TVs, they have fans, that's really cool. They have an indoor swimming pool that's heated year round. So if you're a swimmer and you don't want to give that up, you can definitely do that here. They've got pickleball courts, they've got tennis courts, they've got a gym facility there, they've got locker rooms, and the locker rooms are like a lifestyle fitness. They're absolutely stunning, they're gorgeous. And to top it off with, Esplanade at Turkey Creek has its own restaurant that's exclusive to the members who live in this community only. Now, we've been lucky enough to eat at this restaurant a few times with some of our clients who purchased in here, and I can tell you the restaurant in here is amazing. The food is great, the drinks are awesome, and the vibe and the atmosphere is so cool. If I was 55 years old, I would definitely be living in Esplanade at Turkey Creek. It's just amazing. You definitely have to check it out. Now on to my pro. My pro is gonna be golf courses. So normally Lance talks about this one, but the golf courses in Lincoln, you have a ton of options. So if you're a golfer and you wanna live in Lincoln, California, you don't have to drive super far to go check out a really awesome golf course. You've got the Turkey Creek Golf Course, which is gorgeous. It's really kind of secluded. It's really got a nice vibe, a nice feel. You also have the 2 courses at Sun City. So you've got the Hills and you've got the Orchard. Those are both 18-hole courses as well. Those are super, super nice courses. So if golfing is something that you're interested in, it's definitely a reason to consider living in Lincoln because the options here are close. You don't have to leave Lincoln to find 3 different golf courses, which is awesome. Now, on top of those 3 public courses, you also have 1 private course. So if you're interested in being a member of the country club, you can also golf at Catavadera, which would be the 4th golf course in Lincoln, California. Now let's talk about my con. Now the con for me for this one is it's gonna be Melrose and HOA. So some of the developments up here are gonna have HOA, like Lincoln Crossing is gonna have its own HOA that'll encompass the clubhouse that Lance talked about a little bit earlier. Some of these newer constructions are obviously gonna have HOAs as well. But then in some of the newer areas of Lincoln, like Lincoln Crossing that was built a while back, you still have Melrose bonds on a lot of these houses. Now, sometimes we do find homes that come up where the bonds have been paid off. So it is something to maybe think about. Don't completely write off Lincoln if that scares you. But just kind of think about Melrose being in certain parts of the newer parts of Lincoln, like Lincoln Crossing, the areas that I'm at right now. Really, any newer construction is gonna have that. So be cautious of that, be considerate of that, of the fact that if you're considering living in Lincoln, you might have an additional cost when it comes to a Melrose tax.
All right, so we told you that if you stuck around until the very end, we were gonna show you one of Lincoln's newest construction communities. So we are up here at Bickford Ranch and we actually made it to the top of the hill. So the cool thing is about this location is you are gonna have panoramic views of the entire greater Sacramento metro area from almost any one of these developments up here. Now, Bickford Ranch is finishing up some of their new model homes. So there are gonna be 3 of the first builders out here. We're gonna have Trilogy by Shea Homes. Now this one's gonna be the active adult or the 55 and better community. We know how much you guys on this channel love your 55 and better communities. So this is gonna be very similar to Taylor Morrison and Esplanade at Turkey Creek, which we were just at not too long ago. Now this is gonna be on top of kind of the crest of Sierra College Boulevard that kind of connects into 193. So as you can see back there, they already have some of those homes up and running. The second builder that's also gonna be up here that's gonna have 2 model homes that are gonna be ready a little bit quicker is going to be Tri-Point Homes. Now Tri-Point Homes is gonna have 2 different models up here. Those homes I believe are starting in the low 900s. Now the last and definitely not least is going to be Toll Brothers. Now Toll Brothers is also gonna have 2 model homes up here as well. They are gonna be very similar to what you see maybe at Folsom Ranch on the Preserve, but these homes are going to have some of the best views. I mean, I think in one direction, let me flip this around here real quick. In one direction, you can see the Sutter Buttes, which is gonna be kind of north towards Chico. You're gonna have some of these hills that are gonna be cresting over towards Rockland and Roseville. And the cool thing about this development here too is you are gonna be part of I believe the high school here is going to be Del Oro, which is going to be a highly rated school. I think that's the last time I checked that we're going to be Del Oro. So we are going to keep you up to date with this brand new community. There's going to be 3 builders here as of right now, but I do know that there's going to be more builders that are going to be slated into the future. And this is going to be one of Lincoln's biggest master plan communities. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you stay up to date for all of the newest new home communities that are coming to the greater Sacramento metro. But I believe up here is probably going to be some of the best views or the most killer views that you're going to ever see in the greater Sacramento metro.
All right, so that was everything that you need to know about before moving to Lincoln, or if you're considering a move to the greater Sacramento metro. That was everything you need to know about Lincoln, California. We covered pros, we covered cons, we covered different neighborhoods, we covered everything you need to know and what makes this community different and special.
All right, so if you're thinking about making the move to Lincoln, California, or Lincoln is now on your radar because of this video, that phone number is going to be popping back up. We absolutely love it when you guys reach out to us. Phone call, email, or text message, whatever works best for you, or better yet, go ahead and schedule that one-on-one Zoom call so that way we can put together a game plan of if moving to the greater Sacramento metro may be right for you. But if Lincoln wasn't the town, still go ahead, book that call. Whether you're 90 days or 9 months from making the move to the greater Sacramento metro area, it's always good to reach out. That way we can put together a game plan on how we can make this move as easy as possible.